Yo, YouTube, it's been a few days. I'm sorry that I haven't been consistent. I should be consistent, so I gotta, put a new schedule out, I guess. I guess we'll do like Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Alright, so today I'm going to talk about fans. Alright, overzealous, excessive fans of sports. Okay, these irrational fans. I gotta talk about this because I just read somewhere that, or I just heard over the radio that the head coach of Florida, and I'm not really sure how well or how poor they've been doing this year, but apparently he got death threats from fans, and something I gotta bring to the forefront and get off my chest because I'm kind of sick of it. So, first of all, there's no place for anybody to be receiving death threats. And here's what I want you fans to understand. Like, now there are some cities that are like really diehard. My hometown, New York, we're really diehard fans. And we crucify you if you don't do well, and we praise you. You're king if you or queen if you do well when it comes to sports. Or places like Philadelphia, where like it's known as the city of brotherly love. But if you ever heard the stuff that comes out of freaking Philadelphia fans' mouth, oh my gosh. So like, there's some diehard fans, and it's not. There's nothing wrong with cheering for a team because what it does for the city, what it does to win, what winning does for a city is big, and for a culture is big, and I get all that, but people, y'all need to understand, like, football, baseball, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, all this stuff, like, it's just a game. You know what I mean? It's just a game that we like to play when we were kids, and we just decided, to grow up and want to make a living about it. Not me specifically, but like athletes. They decided to grow up and decide to make a living doing something that they love. Like, it was just a game. Like, as fans, like, we're not getting paid. We're spending our money to watch people play. We're spending our money to cheer for people. We're spending our money to root for people. And yeah, like these a lot of these sports heads, these sports figures are role models in their community, and they mean a lot. And that's understandable. You know what I mean? But it's just a game. It's still a game. Like, at the end of the day, like, when people get finished playing that game, they're adults that have lives, that have families that they need to take care of. So for like these punk coward fans that issue death threats to people when they lose, it's like, you gotta be kidding me. That's so cowardly. Like how can you be so small? That reminds me of this documentary I saw like some years ago when this Alabama Roll Tide fan had like poisoned this tree in Auburn, I believe. Named this kid Bama Roll Tide or something like that. So this kid's gonna grow up being named Bama Roll Tide. That's number one. Number two, he poisoned the tree, which was a tradition to another college, all in the name of the game, because you're such a fan of this team. Like, I get the rivalry. I get rivalries can be really crazy. Like, I remember I went to when I was stationed in Maryland. One of my friends. We went to this game in Pittsburgh. It was Pittsburgh versus West Virginia. It was college football, right? And we had these fans, like, we're sitting up in the dang near nosebleeds at Heinz Field, and you got these fans saying, these Pittsburgh fans saying to these West Virginia fans, like, oh, go F your mother, and go, your uncle is also your older brother's nephew, sister's mother's cousin. incest, because the rumor that, because West Virginia is incestuous state according to a lot of people, but you know what I mean, like that stuff like that, like it's just a game. Like why? Like who the hell care? Like I feel like a lot of times fans care more about the game than the actual players do. You know what I mean? They take it more seriously, especially when it comes to fantasy. Like people in fantasy don't really consider people's livelihood. Like they look at a player in their starting lineup getting injured or hurt, breaking their leg. In real life, they're breaking their leg, they're getting a concussion, they're tearing an ACL or MCL or PCL or whatever, breaking an arm. These people are getting hurt in real life, and they're getting angry because they're not available in their fantasy, something that doesn't even freaking exist or matter. You know what I mean? So you're telling me that you're mad because another human being wasn't available for you to play your little game with your friends. You know what I mean? Like that's I don't understand how we're like human nature, especially Americans, like we're so dang selfish when it comes to this stuff. Like, like I don't get it. So it's just, for me, like fans gotta understand it's just a game, like it's entertainment. If your team's losing, everybody loses at some point. You know what I mean? The Patriots weren't always good. They sucked before they got good. You know what I mean? A lot of teams suck before they're good. A lot of teams are good before they suck. So that's the beauty of sports. It's all about the underdog. Like it's fun rooting for a storyline. It's fun seeing things unfold. It's fun seeing teams come together. It's fun seeing camaraderie, which is why football is my favorite sport, because it's the ultimate team sport. Some could argue soccer is ultimate. I believe soccer is a really good team sport. Basketball, baseball, America's pastime, like different things like that. Lacrosse, swimming, regardless of what the sport is. You know what I mean, and who the athlete is. Tennis, regardless of what the sport is, people got to understand it's a game. These people have lives. These people are people just like you and me that were fans at one point in your shoes when they were kids. They were cheering for some other team. You know what I mean? So for those people that are fantasy players that just care about players being available or productivity, or you don't know what's going on, you just want them to be available so they can score you points, so you can either win money or have bragging rights, and that's all you care about. Screw you. For those people out there issuing death threats to people and their families just because they're losing games, they're doing, like, for example, Texas A&M's coach, the football head coach, Kevin Sumlin, he was getting death threats a while back, and people were getting angry at him and sending him letters to his. First of all, how they get his address? They're sending him letters to he and his family. I think his wife posted on Twitter, like, this man has kids. Like, what if they open that up and they see that their father is getting death threats from these fans that are supposed to, like, love their staff, love their team? You know what I mean? Like, why does a kid need to read someone saying, "I'm going to kill you and your family"? All because your father, or the job your father's doing at the college. Like, you know what I'm saying? Him losing games ain't hurting your bottom line. You know what I mean? My favorite team, the Jets, whether they win or lose, is not going to affect me at all. Yeah, it sucks when they lose, and it's surprising when they win, but that's not going to take away my military paycheck. I'm going to get paid on the 1st and 15th regardless, unless it falls on a Friday or a weekend. But it's not all that affects is my bragging rights, and that's the way it should be. Like, it should be fun. It should be like something we could celebrate. Win or lose, like it should all be fun. Even the Browns fans can somewhat find it fun to make fun of their butt team. With brown paperback, yeah, it's depressing, but still, like, people shouldn't be getting death threats. So those fans out there that's doing the death threat thing, like, screw you guys too. You guys have no balls to put your name on it, to come out and say these things to anybody's faces. You guys are all anonymous, hiding behind your freaking thumbs and your pens, and that's cowardice. That's a coward. You guys are all cowards. As fans, you know, sports is an amazing thing. It brings us all together. It allows us to, you know what I mean, get away from the problems in the world, the issues in the world, and it's all about what America's about: competition. You know what I mean? All about being the best, and that's an amazing thing. I believe it gets out of hand when people lose sight of that and want to, you know, get extra aggressive. Like at games, I've seen people throwing stuff at the athletes, throwing bottles and not to say the athletes don't do it as well. Like what, for instance, what Kyrie Irving said. Like you had a fan saying, "Where's LeBron at?" And Kyrie responded with SMD at a Celtics game. Like, why are you provoking him? Why are you like? Everybody knows LeBron. Like he's on the Celtics. LeBron's on the Cavs. Like, who the hell cares where LeBron's at? You know what I mean? Like, what made you think that it was necessary to tell this dude who's trying to forge his own future? Ask this dude, where's LeBron? He knows where LeBron. What kind of stupid question is that? You know what I mean? Like, LeBron knows where LeBron is at. He's only worried about his team. So I'm saying, like, these fans provoke these players, and I feel these players. Like, you know, a week ago, you got Dallas Mavericks fans booing Chandler Parsons and their teammates. Like, yeah, Mavericks are butt. You know what I mean? And yeah, Chandler Parsons is a big reason for that because he's been hurt, but he got paid all this money. Do I think it was justified? Hell no. But that's another argument for another day. But do I think he deserves to get booed by their own fans? No. You would think cheering will probably uplift some of them. You know what I mean? And probably make them play better. Like, I think that as fans, we are. I'm not saying that we owe the players anything. We don't owe them jack. And they don't owe us jack. Because they're not. What can they do for us other than entertain us? Right? And be role models and be examples and give back to the communities that they came from or other communities and volunteer and do whatever, right? And be model citizens. What can, other than that, like freaking Josh McCown will owe me jack. Leonard Williams will owe me jack. Like I'm still going to root for them, you know. So if you know Porzingis is having an off night, I'm not going to boo Porzingis. He's having an off freaking night. Like, the Knicks have sucked for years, since before I was born. You know, well, actually, no, they haven't sucked that long. They were dope in the 90s. But regardless, like, I'm gonna support them as a fan. Regardless, like, I love the Knicks. You know what I mean? But if Porzingis is having an off night, he's missing free throws, I'm not going to issue him death threats. I don't see nobody issuing death threats to Andre Roberson at OKC, how terrible his shot is. Like, dude can't shoot. He's almost as bad an athlete as. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put him in the EJ Manuel category. Like, I'm not going to put him in the Manuel category. Like, Roberson is elite on defense. If he had a shot, like, he'd be dope. He'd be an all-star. If he had a shot, he'd be an all-star. Like, I swear by this. If he had a shot, one shot, just one shot, he'd be all-star. But he ain't got one because he's butt. So to all these fans out there, just understand it's just a game. You know, some of y'all might respond, well, it's more than a game to me, and that's still real to me, dang it. Like, I get whatever passion you is, whatever experience you have for why you believe the game is more to you, and that's all well and good. But this game that we grew up playing, football, basketball, whatever, this entertaining game or sport or whatever it is that we enjoy doing for our youth up until when we were, you know, these guys made a living out of it, it's not worth death threats. It's not worth people getting mad for their fantasy, and it's not worth, you know what I mean, people forgetting the fact that these athletes that entertain us on a weekly basis are humans just like us. Alright? Cause in the jungle, the bird. Alright, YouTubers, comment, subscribe, put the word out, tell your friends, your homies, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. Comment. Just let me know what you think. We'll talk about it. You know, we'll have a discussion. And the lion has spoken.